seen me on here already before, this is Paul Palmer. I've been messing about, of course, with my backgrounds, and you can see it's a little bit different today. But what today's broadcast is about I'm just going to share with you a story why I decided to become a pharmaceutical business enabler. Well, I suppose there's two parts to it. I decided to join the pharmaceutical industry just because I could. I left school and I took a job in pharma. It was available. They were going to pay for my training, my education, support me all the way through, and allow me to apply the concepts that I was learning in university to the work I was doing. So it just seemed easy to me. But then I was with them for 14 years, and they supported me through everything I needed. But the one thing that they were not willing to support was my QP training, QP sponsorship. But I think that was partly because I didn't ask, and they didn't offer. I don't know if they would have said yes if I'd been there and asked for it at the time. But when I moved on, I joined a company that was a bit more focused on the finances, I suppose. Or maybe it was just the head of the site that was more focused on engaging with the team. So I was in a management position, quality systems manager at the time. And one of the things that he got us together to talk about was, how much does it cost? And how much value were we adding? So what's the cost of a team? So in the room, there was probably around 25, 30 of us. Managers, lower team managers, senior exec, all in one room. And his point was that the people in the room were costing him 1.5 million a year. And he wanted to understand what he was getting for that. What's the value that's being added by the team? And we all sat there and we thought about it. And I didn't just think about it while we were there doing the activities. This was like an intro meeting at the beginning of the celebration for the year. And it stuck with me because I thought about it and I thought, well, okay, if I want more money, which of course everybody does, they want to get more money from the company. Well, the company has to have it. And if the company's not getting the money, they're not getting the value. If they're not getting the value from you, from the team, then why should they give the team more? How much does it cost to finance your team? How much do you want to add to your team? So there's a project that I'm working on at the moment, and they're not really thinking about the cost base. They're thinking about, well, we need more resource because we want to add. No, actually, it's not because they want to add. It's because they say, no, there's too much work to do. So we want to add more resource to the team. And they've already got a significant team anyway. So what is the cost of a team? Well, salaries. So let's say we've got 10 in the team and they're 50,000 each. I know it's not necessarily true, but it's round numbers. So if you're spending 50,000 on the salaries, so that's 500,000. But on top of that, you've got additional costs of having a team, of managing a team. You've got all the extra taxes that are involved. You've got maybe some benefits as well. And it's about double the cost of the base salary to have your team. So now you're looking at $1 million for 10 people. £1 million per year that needs to be covered from the business just to pay the salaries. Now, if they want to increase everybody's salary, and we all want an annual increase, don't we? Say, what would be really nice? 10% would be really nice, wouldn't it? So where's the extra 100,000 going to come from those 10 people? That's the problem when you're thinking, oh, well, we all want pay rises. We all want promotions. We all want more money. But many people don't think about enabling the business. I decided to become a pharmaceutical business enabler, having been to this presentation where we talked about the cost of a team. And I decided for me that adding value was the best way that I was going to actually get something that I wanted. So I was going to be the person that would allow, not necessarily just allow, but facilitate progress within the company, facilitate the actual enhancement of systems and processes. Now, I was in a lucky position at the time. Should I say lucky, fortunate? I was a quality systems manager. So I was in the position to enhance the way that the business focus operated, to enhance the business process, to involve other departments in ensuring that the systems and processes we had in place worked. So I worked with my team. I worked with other teams. I provided training. And in doing so, enhanced the value that I provided to the business. We improved the process efficiencies. We improved the communication across between sites. We improved the quality of the product even by investigating in more detail complaints. So in this way, I became a business enabler for that particular site. But of course, I added cost to the business as well because I recruited the team. But in recruiting the team, I looked at the benefits that they were going to provide and made sure whatever they were going to be costing for the business, that actually the revenue that they generated by being involved in the enhancements to the business would mean that the business performance improved. So I was adding value. And I always now recommend to everybody, be an enabler of the business. Add value to your business, and then you're more likely, okay, it's not guaranteed, but you're more likely to get what you want from the business. Now, many people say give first. I know, but when I was in BNI, they always said give as gain. And I do think that to some extent is true. To some extent, not 100%. But what I always look now to do is how can I add 10 times the value for what they're giving me to the business? What can I do to 10x it? What can I do to make sure the benefits they get will be significantly more than the cost? And in doing so, that's why when I've had contracts that I've joined a company for 3 months, I've joined a company for 6 months, for 3 months, for 1 month, for a short-term support. And then I've ended up staying with them for 2 years or more. I think the longest running one at the moment is 7. But by adding value, that's how you get your longevity, whether it's in a job or whether it's in your own business. But how do I do it now? Well, I help business as not really business owners. It's a bit of a far-fetched to say that it's business owners, because the way that I add value is to add value to larger organizations. I help pharmaceutical companies identify the areas where they do have the blocks, where they have the gaps, where things are not going the way that they might necessarily want them to. Who's not acting as an enabler? An enabler. What is an enabler? Well, it's somebody that helps the process along, that facilitates activity, that ensures that the quality assurance principles are applied. Okay, what do we mean by that? Well, risk management. If you want to enable your pharmaceutical business and you're in quality, you can lead the risk management process. To be honest, you don't have to be in quality, but it seems that that's often where it sits. So you've assessed the risk throughout the business, and you've assessed it with a team, cross-functional team, and you've got buy-in, and you've put the actions in place to ensure that that's improved. The risk is reduced, and the output is likely, therefore, to increase. Well, if you eliminate risk and you don't have the reworks and you don't have the rejects, and you don't have the customer complaints, and you don't have the deviations, if you eliminate risk by focus on it and prioritizing it with your risk priority score, then you are enabling the business. But many of us don't see it like that. If you're in pharmaceutical quality management, they often say, well, we've got to meet the regulations so that we're allowed to put the product on the market. Okay, yes, that's true. But how are you helping the rest of the team meet those business requirements? How are you facilitating the rest of the team improving their performance? What systems, what processes, what flow charts are you using? What SOPs, training, IT systems have you helped them with validation so they're reliable, so they actually deliver on time? And that's what I mean when I'm talking about enabling the business, helping the pharmaceutical manufacturer deliver the product on time, in full, of the right quality to the right place, because you've put processes in place to make sure the customers and the suppliers are verified, qualified. You've put systems in place to make sure that the process that they're going to follow to manufacture that product is actually going to deliver the product of the right quality, the right amount of the product, using the right materials, using the right labor, so that you deliver on time in full. Unfortunately, I've got a call now, so I'm going to have to go. I'll see you all soon.